allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Irby? Here. Councilmember Page?
Here.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Present.
Councilmember Dolan?
Here.
Councilmember Trakas?
Present.
Councilmember Harder? Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
I move for approval of the journal of the meeting of August 29th, 2017 and August 30th, 2017.
Second.
Right?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The journal of August 29th and August 30th are both approved. We have no bid openings tonight, so we'll move to communications.
Mr. Chair, there are no tax compromises or zoning matters this evening, so we'll move to road and bridge matters. Under road and bridge matters, item number 1, First District.
Receive, file, plan, specifications, and detailed estimate of costs be approved, and the Director of Procurement be authorized to advertise for bids pending Federal Highway Administration authorization as requested, and a copy of this report be sent to the interested parties.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, First District.
Receive, file, plan, specifications, and detailed estimate of costs be approved, and the Director of Procurement be authorized to advertise for bids pending Federal Highway Administration authorization as requested, and a copy of this report be sent to the interested parties.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3, Second District.
Receive, file, plan, specifications, and detailed estimate of costs be approved, and Director of Procurement be authorized to advertise for bids pending Federal Highway Administration authorization as requested.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4, Second District.
Receive, file, plan, specification, and detailed estimate of costs be approved, and Director of Procurement be authorized to advertise for bids pending Federal Highway Administration authorization as requested, and a copy of this report be sent to all interested parties.
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Moving on to other communications, Mr. Chair. Item number 1.
Receive, file, and the County Council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. That will be the order.
Item number 2.
Receive and file, same motion through item number 4, and that will be the order.
Item number 5.
Receive, file, and the County Council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same order for number 6, and that will be the order.
Item number 7, Second District.
Receive, file, and the County Council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. That will be the order, and this will be referred to a committee of the whole. This is an interesting project, and I want to make sure that everyone on the council understands it. That's the order.
Item number 8, First District.
Receive, file, and the County Council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and a copy of this report be sent to the City of Pine Lawn.
So ordered.
Item number 9, First District.
Receive, file, and the County Council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and a copy of this report be sent to the City of North Woods.
So ordered.
Item number 10, Fourth District.
Receive, file, then the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered. Please read the add-ons.
Item number 1.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 2, Second District.
Receive, file, and County Council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. That will be the order. Report of the County Executive. No report. No special committee reports, so we'll proceed with the public forum.
We have 2 speakers this evening, Mr. Chair. First speaker is Robert Anderson.
Thank you I'm Robert Anderson from Maryland Heights. Thank you for the opportunity to address the council this evening. This is regarding the issue of Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park. versus the Ice Legacy Foundation. And as we all know, the federal government, the U.S. Department of the Interior, sent letters dated 7 July 2617 and August 2517 to cease construction of this ice rink. Yet I've seen equipment on the site as of today at 4:30. So I'm just wondering when the equipment will be removed from the site. Okay, the main issues at Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Parkland has the restricted use to be used for outdoor recreation, and the proposed big box multi-ice rink Blues Hockey Hall of Fame building and parking lot does not qualify for this parkland use. Okay, there are many, many other locations for such a big box structure, and the Blues Hockey Team Ice Legacy Foundation has been informed of this many times. The Blues Hockey Team Ice Legacy Foundation has nothing to lose in pursuing this construction, but everything to gain in free parkland and jobs for themselves, in addition to benefiting private landowners adjacent to the park who have made political contributions to further this park land grab. And we realize that Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park Ice Legacy issue still has to be completely resolved. And even though the Blues Hockey Ice Legacy political machine is paused, we will remain vigilant in having them move to a new location outside of Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park. There are different locations on privately owned land near the park. There's land near Gulfport, there's land near Sportport, and either one of these locations would be a wonderful location. Okay, so an acceptable nature landscaping plan designed by arborists and landscape architects can then be implemented to repair the bulldozing construction. And I urge everybody to watch Ken Burns' The National Parks, America's Best Idea. The television series stresses the vigilance of many to keep our parks open land for the whole public, and not just for the financial benefit and pleasure of a few. Preservation of open parkland is the right thing to do. Thank you.
Next speaker is Kelly Jones.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Jones, the Executive Director for Gateway Air Conditioning Contractors, which includes 30 associate members and 124 contractor members. I share this number so you understand that I am one person representing many, many more. As a trade association, we work on issues that matter to our members. And our issue today, the one that brings me in front of you tonight, is the same as yesterday's, last month's, and even last year's issue, the faulty journeyman license test. I am sincerely grateful to Councilwoman Gray and her assistant Tony Weaver for looking into the matter. And as of this morning, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that 3 out of the 4 mechanical journeyman license tests are corrected and ready to go: HVAC, pipe fitter, and sheet metal. The bad news is that these tests are corrected, yet are not being allowed into the testing system. Why? I don't know, but it's not for lack of asking the question. So I'm here tonight. I wanted to address specifically County Executive Stanger. However, I'm going to continue on, but I wanted to ask him to allow the department to release the corrected tests so the people that he represents have a fair shot at moving their career along. And I use the word people very pointedly, lest it's forgotten who I'm talking about. People who have invested 3, 4, 5 years plus in this career and who now feel less than because they cannot pass this flawed test. Just this morning during the Mechanical Licensing Review Board meeting, it was shared that in August, 5 people passed their test. 25 people failed, or maybe I should say the test failed them. That's a 16.67% pass rate. Are you okay with that? I know I'm not. Yesterday, I had a gentleman in my office who had just failed his 3rd attempt, and he said that he's about ready to give up. And I asked him not to hang in there and keep trying. This is spirit crushing. Not only are we delaying people the ability to fully work in their field, but in our industry, knowing we have a labor shortage, if this continues, people won't even look at an HVAC career because it's so difficult to go to work. And how does that serve you? How does that serve St. Louis County? With now knowing 3 tests are ready to go, but not implemented, it elevates this to a justice issue for me. Or better yet, an injustice to those people wanting to go to work who are forced to take a faulty test all the time. A revised test is ready and waiting, but just not made available. I'm going to believe that County Executive Stanger got into politics because he wanted to help people. Why else go to all of the work of getting elected, even before the real work begins, which is managing the jurisdiction? And I'm asking County Executive Stanger to not lose sight of why he wanted to be county executive, and in this case, help the people in the mechanical industry. So I wanted to thank him in advance for his help. I wanted to thank him for contacting the department by Friday the 15th and giving them permission to allow these tests into the system. Thank you.
Thank you. And just respond to the first speaker, there is an ordinance on the agenda tonight to address what we believe at this point in time is would have support of the council, and that is to restore some sort of limited vegetation to the park area that's been disturbed to prevent erosion through the winter months while we decide what the best vegetation will be in the long term. In addition, we will require the developers of the park to be responsible of this ice complex, if it is ever approved, to be responsible for any purchase of land if a conversion is required. And we will also be amending the original authority to prohibit any county funds from being used to purchase replacement land if a conversion is required by the Park Service. I understand this has a long way to go for approval. I don't, at this point, detect the full authority to completely repeal this project, although there are a lot of us that would be interested in that. But today, I think at least we want to make sure that county funds aren't required to, aren't spent to place replacement land when, in fact, it would be better to spend money to purchase land outside of the park. And we'll continue this conversation. We've heard what you have to say, but it takes a while to work this through the process. We'll continue our discussions. This concludes a public forum. Proceed with introduction of bills.
Bill number 232, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $103,527.35 from the Missouri Department of Social Services, appropriating the same for support of the Kathy J. Wyman Shelter, and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 233, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $5,000 from the National Center of Healthy Housing, appropriating the same for support of the NCHH Lead Poisoning Prevention Awareness Program, and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 234, introduced by Councilmember Harder and, Councilmember, is someone introducing this for Councilmember Harder?
I will.
Bill number 234, introduced by Councilmember Page for Councilmember Harder, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to grant an easement to Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District for installation of new sewer service to serve property adjacent to Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Bill number 235, introduced by Councilmembers Irby, Page, Irby for Wassinger, Walton, Gray, and Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Lockmuller Group Incorporated for engineering services related to 2 roadway improvement projects, and authorizing the Director of Transportation to execute necessary documents for revision of work activity schedules, AR-1690 and 1691. Bill number 236, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Burns and McDonald Engineering Company Incorporated for engineering services in connection with various improvements along Hanley Road between Dale Avenue and Manchester Road, and authorizing the Director of Transportation to execute necessary documents for revision of work activity schedules, AR-1595. Bill number 237, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley Incorporated for consulting engineering services in connection with the improvement of PE Road Bridge number 440, and authorizing the Director of Transportation to execute necessary documents for revision of work activities schedules, AR-715. Bill number 238, introduced by Councilmember Dolan, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute contract with the Washington University in connection with pedestrian and/or bicycle path improvements in county right-of-way. Bill number 239, introduced by Councilmember Tracas, an ordinance amending Title 12 St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974's amended traffic code by adding and enacting one provision to Schedule 6. Bill number 240, introduced by Councilmember Tracas, an ordinance amending ordinance number 25,534 is amended by repealing and reenacting Section 3 pertaining to PC 20-13, A1 locker rental self-storage. Bill number 241, introduced by Councilmember Page, an emergency ordinance amending ordinance number 26,621, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances by enacting and adding thereto 4 new sections related to development in Creveport Park and declaring an emergency. Mr. Chair, that is all the bills.
If anyone would like to co-sponsor Bill number 241 related to Creveport Park, please let the clerk know this evening. Perfection.
Bill number 162, introduced by Councilmembers Page and Harder.
Hold on the order of business, and that will be the order.
Bill number 189, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold Bill number 189, and 189 will be held.
Bill number 190, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold 190, and 190 is held.
Bill number 222, introduced by Councilmember Tracas.
Please hold Bill number 222.
222 is held.
Bill number 225, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray. Mr. Chair, we have a substitute bill. Shall I read the substitute?
Yes.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 225, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Raffenia Property Group LLC for lease of space at Bell Park Plaza for the Spanish Lake Youth Center.
Would you like to move adoption?
We'd like to hold this bill at this time so that we can make further corrections and assign this bill to for a hearing, committee hearing. I do like to make a statement that I want to thank the department director for coming and speaking with us today with me and putting the human side, giving a human side to this matter. I do have a fiduciary duty to my constituents, and I struggle with when we're spending money and want to make sure that it's being spent properly and we're doing our best job here on the council. So, but I understand this is a very important project for the youth and the community. The youth in that area is very underprivileged, and it's a depressed area. And it's just not an easy job that we have to make the right decision. So, sometimes you just have to take a stance. I know that the person who owns this building is looking for certain things, but we want to try to do the best we can. But again, I appreciate the director, and we have a lot more information, and we will discuss more at the hearing. So I'm going to hold the bill so that we don't that we don't perfect a bill that's not in proper form and set it for a hearing.
Mr. Chair, can I ask for a clarification for the record? Is it the original Bill 225 that's being held, since substitute Bill number 1 hasn't actually been introduced?
So,
Or adopted, rather?
do you want to adopt your sub, or do you want to wait?
We can go ahead. Well, the sub's going to be changed, I'm thinking. So we'll adopt the sub at this time. I move that we adopt, I'm sorry. I move that we adopt the sub 1 for Bill 225 at this time.
Second.
All in favor of the motion to adopt the substitute bill for Bill number 225, say aye.
Can I ask a question? Just from this first conversation we've had of this, it sounds like you're going to be changing the substitute bill, so why would we adopt a substitute bill that we're going to change?
I don't know definitely that it's going to be changed, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and adopt the sub.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Bill number 225, the substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 225.
I'm just going to
It's
abstain
adopted.
on that one, just because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I'll let the record reflect that Councilman Dolan is abstaining on that vote. Thank you. Thanks. And then based on, would you like to hold the substitute bill for 225?
There's no need to make a motion.
Okay, great,
It'll
thank
just stay
you.
on perfection, if that's what the councilwoman wishes.
Yes, please.
Bill number 227, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Councilmember Harder couldn't be here today, but he did ask that this bill be held, so I will move to hold bill number 227, and 227 is held.
Bill number 228, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
On behalf of Councilmember Harder, I move to perfect bill number 228.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Bill number 228 is perfected.
Bill number 229, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
To move to perfect bill number 229.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 229 is perfected.
Bill number 230, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect bill number 230.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill number 230 is perfected.
Bill number 231, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I'm gonna hold that for right now, please.
Bill number 231 is held. Final passage.
Bill number 183, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
Please hold.
Bill number 183 is held.
Substitute bill number 2 for bill number 223, introduced by Councilmember Page.
I move for final passage of substitute bill number 2 for bill number 223.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder? Mr. Chair, on substitute bill number 2 for bill number 223, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Substitute bill number 2 for bill number 223 is finally passed.
Bill number 224, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of bill number 224.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder? Mr. Chair, on bill number 224, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Bill number 224 is finally passed.
Bill number 226, introduced by Councilmembers Walton, Gray, Page, and Erby.
Please hold this bill, bill number 226.
Bill number 226 is held.
Moving on to resolutions, Mr. Chair, we have 2 this evening.
Mr. Chair, can I,
Yes.
just to go back on perfection, I just was making sure everything went with your substitute bill was passed, and then I was gonna drop the bill on perfection I had on, what was it? Here's the damn number,
Bill number 231.
yes.
Do we need a motion to go back to that? Can we accept his
I
motion?
think it's bill 232, Chairman.
231.
231 is,
31, all right.
wait a minute.
It's 231.
231 is Pat's bill, 232 is not on our agenda for perfection.
231 was on perfection,
Yes, it is.
and I, now that I know what's done here, I want to drop it from the order of business.
Okay, bill number 231 will be dropped.
Thank you. And also, I'm all in favor of supporting the youth in North County. I just didn't understand what was going on with that sub-bill. So when we have one that's, we can work out a contract with, then I'd be happy to entertain that for sure. Thank you.
Resolutions.
We have 2 this evening, Mr. Chair. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for adoption of resolution number 1.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder? Mr. Chair, on resolution number 1, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Resolution number 1 is adopted.
Resolution number 2, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
I move for the adoption of resolution number 2, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder? Mr. Chair, on resolution number 2, there are 5 ayes and 2 absent.
Resolution number 2 is adopted.
Moving on to unfinished business, item number 1.
Hold on the order of business, same motion through number 4, and that will be the order.
Item number 5, 7th District.
I did receive a message from Councilman Harder, he would like to hold this, so I move to hold item number 5, and that will be the order.
Item number 6, First District.
Please hold.
So ordered.
Item number 7.
Hold on the other order of business, and that will be the order.
Item number 8, Sixth District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare appropriate legislation, please.
So ordered.
And under new business this evening, Mr. Chair, we have one prepared order.
I move for adoption of order number 1.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Order number 1 is adopted.
Move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you.